Hello, hello. Welcome to today's Wednesday Live. Let me go ahead and get my Instagram in the room. All right, got YouTube here, Instagram here. I believe we're live. All right, we're going to get started. Hey, welcome. As you are coming in, drop and let me know where you are watching from. Today's Wednesday Live, we're going to be talking about clarity. So last week we broke into the topic of what it looks like when you have a high income without any movement within your wealth. Today we're going to break down what the lack of clarity looks like, how you can start connecting the dots and positioning yourself to build more wealth for yourself. And I want to start off first with saying, I know when we talk about high income, the idea is generally that you have a lot of money, you're able to pay your bills, so moving through life is easy. You'll have that influx of cash coming in as a paycheck drops into your account, but I want to challenge you to really look at what's happening, not only with your money right now. Yes, you're able to pay your bills, but do you have that forward clarity as to what your income is doing for you? So that's what we're going to break down today, because a lot of the topics, as I've shared with you, is about, I don't know where my money is going. And I want to break that down so that you have more clarity and confidence as to what's going down. Now, I know I've shared my journey before, but I want to just highlight this one area, because for you to understand, for me, like what got me to this point, I was increasing my income like regularly, climbing up the corporate ladder. I went from making $33,000 a year to over $150,000. And even during that journey of increasing my income, I want to say within a 2-year span, I increased my income by like $50,000, which is kind of unheard of for most people, unless you're job hopping. And this was me staying at one particular company. And the thing I want to highlight with that is, even though I was increasing my income, it still felt like what is happening? What is going on with my money? Why am I not able to do all the things I need to do? Why am I still stuck in the cycle of debt? Why is it that money still feels tight for me, despite the fact that I have increased my income? And I want to share this because it's not just me. I've had countless conversations with high-earning women making $10,000 to $15,000 a month after taxes and still feeling like they don't know where their money is going, their credit card debt is increasing, and the overall feeling towards money is just overwhelming, stressful. So I want to break that down, that how I got to this point came down to one thing and one thing only, and that is clarity. So as we go through, I want to touch on 3 different points as to what a lack of clarity looks like. So if you're seeing this within your own finances, you'll have more understanding of what may be some of the things that are keeping you stuck. So the first thing that I find most often, where we're looking at, is there clarity going on? You have a lack of clarity. Is this reactivity to your spending? So you may feel like, all right, I'm doing great. Like I have money coming in, I'm able to pay my bills, I'm able to take a trip with my girlfriends, I'm able to do the things that I want. But then the thought process of, all right, now that you've done those things, you get to the end of the month and you're like, oh, where did this money go? That is more of what I call reactive spending. You're spending either without a plan or just spending because there's money within the account. A lot of times when you are looking simply at, is there money in the account? And yes, then we go and spend. There's a key piece missing there. And what's not being factored is that while, yes, there's money in the account, but what about things that may be popping up next month, 2 months, 3 months from now? That's part of what clarity does. Clarity allows you to understand what's happening with your income right now and giving you more of that confidence so that you know if you want to take that trip, go make that big purchase, that you can do so without impacting your future self, Again, here at JamaaWealth, we're all about how do you build your future freedom while still enjoying life now. It's not about I'm going to cut everything back and restrict. It's creating that balance that you can take the trip without going into debt. You can go out to those experiences and enjoy that nice meal and still build up for your future. Okay? The second thing is, a lot of times what I find is the opposite thing too, is you're second guessing every purchase. You're making more than enough, but when it comes to buying certain things, you have this reservation of, well, I don't know, can I afford that? Is this something that I'm going to regret later on? Kind of ties back into the reactive spending. So I either find that you're spending without thought, and then now you're looking back and having that regret, or you're second guessing whether you want to spend because you're worried about whether or not it's going to impact you, right? So there's two different parts of the spectrum. And when we think about having clarity with your spending, again, goes back to you having more understanding of how your money is directed. When we talk about using your income and positioning it for wealth, that involves you being able to create your wealthiest self right now, right? So when I say wealthy self, wealthy as in building up your future, building up the freedom so you have more options and more ease. But your wealthy self right now, where you're able to pour into yourself and have that self-care and take care of your mental health and rest. Those are the things that position your income for wealth can do for you. And that comes with having clarity about what's going on right now. And I'll break down that a little bit more further in the live of all the different areas that you need that's going to help you have more clarity. The third thing that I find where a lot of women is hesitating on because of the lack of clarity is investing. And this is one of the key areas of how you are going to position your income to build for you and create more freedom for you in the future. Why I love investing, why it is one of those things where you put your money into an investment. I love index funds, and you're allowing your money to work harder than you, right? The idea these days is I got to hustle harder. I need to get that next promotion. I need to get that next raise. I need to increase my income. And that energy, that forceful hustle energy, it's not serving you. Because even when you get to that next level, even when you make the income and you get the promotion, you're still having this feeling of it not being enough. The goal is to shift to where you're taking your income and putting it into those vehicles that are going to grow and build for you so that you don't feel like you have to hustle all the time. Okay? And then the reason why whenever I start out with clarity, because clarity is not just I just need to know everything. It really is the foundation. Like, really think about this. And I've said this before, your clarity is like that roadmap that's going to guide you as to where you want to be. One, you're getting clarity on what is it that you want for your life? What is it that you desire and how you want your income to work for you? That vision over your life, because clarity is going to allow you to see, is my income now, is that working towards the life that I desire? Is that helping you? And do you have the checks and balances in place to determine if you're on track or not? Without clarity, that's why you have that feeling of, is this enough, right? Hey, thanks for joining. Hey, Lisa J. Stocks. Hey, Travel by Suze. Hey, Studio 19 Design. Thanks for joining. And so when it comes to the building your financial plan and having that structure in place, I'm going to talk to you through three things. One I kind of already alluded to, but having that vision. The vision is what's going to be the roadmap that's going to get you where you need to be. So that looks like knowing what you want for your life and what you want your money to do, defining that vision for yourself, right? And a key part of that is understanding your numbers. If you are not tracking your net worth, and understanding what your overall financial picture is. I like to say that net worth is looking at your assets minus your liabilities. That gives you your true financial picture of your overall health, right? And this is a missing thing. If you're feeling a way where you're thinking like, am I on track? Is my money actually working for me? Chances are you are not tracking this key metric. Your net worth is going to tell you how you're doing financially overall. Because yes, every day, the income and expenses that are going in and out of your account, that's just one part of the equation. But I like to think of it as if something, God forbid, were to happen for you and you wanted to know, did you have enough wealth to leave to your family? Your net worth is what's going to be able to help you determine that information, right? And this is one of the areas that I'll be talking about inside my upcoming masterclass in breaking down how you get more clarity so that you can start having more of that confidence. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the second area of what clarity can do for you is structuring your system, right? Think about it. When your income fluctuates or you get that big windfall, those big bonuses, that 5-figure bonus, clarity can help you understand exactly what you want to do with it. And here's my little rule of thumb that I like to use. Whenever you're getting a windfall, whether it's a tax refund, a bonus, or something that comes in that is not expected, I always like to designate a certain percentage that you'll use for yourself. The reason I do that is because it's easy when you have money that either you weren't expecting that comes in to just have that money go to whatever whim or emotion or feeling that you had in that particular moment at that time. So by you being proactive and setting aside, all right, I'm taking 10% so that I can enjoy my life, and then I'm going to use the rest to build my wealth, invest, save, fund my next goal. And I like to say this because having that structure and system in place, again, everyone's financial system is different. But if you want to have a guilt-free way of managing your money where you can spend the hard-earned money that you're working for, having more of that structure is what's going to help you align in that path, right? It's all about having clarity and alignment, which leads me into number 3, is alignment gives you peace of mind. Alignment removes that fear. When you are spending, saving, and investing all supports your goals, you have more of a safe feeling. It's no more, I'm worried about what happens if I lose my income, or what happens if some unexpected expense happens. When you don't have alignment, those fears are going to pop up. But when you have alignment as to what's happening with your income when it comes in, how it's going to be directed to fuel your goals, you have confidence because now you have more purpose and structure for your money. And the best part is, that's when you can rest, right? Imagine your income flowing in. You know that all your bills are paid. You're able to fund that trip that you want. You're able to pay for your kids' education, saving for their future, still have money to take care of your mental health and well-being. That's ease. That's what happens when you give your money structure. That's what creates freedom. And I know we talked about it last week and a little bit here. It's just when you think about freedom, really defining what that looks like for you. All of that requires you to have clarity. And I want to share with you one of the clients that I've worked with, because this I will say is a key example of what a lack of clarity can do for your finances and what happens when you do get clarity. So I worked with this client. Before coming to me, she had done a balance transfer because she wanted to get a good handle on her debt. She wanted to get back on track. But the challenge with that was, while yes, she did the balance transfer, she was able to put her money over, she did not have a clear plan as to, now that this transfer went into place, how she was going to manage her overall finances to keep her moving forward. And I did it because the same thing happened to me on my journey, right? I thought, oh, I'm just going to do a balance transfer. That's going to solve everything. I'll be able to get rid of this debt. But what happened to me and what happened to her is that the credit card racked up again. So now not only do we have the balance transfer, now we also have more credit card debt, and we're in a worse situation than we were before. So this is why clarity is important. Because without a clear plan, every financial move you make, right, we want to make sure that is a smart move that is not going to keep you stuck. And the thing about it is, like, once we started working together, it wasn't like I had some magic pill. I mean, although I believe that my work is amazing. And I'm good at what I do, and I'm able to help clients unlock and truly see, like, what was it that is keeping them stuck. But the thing about it is, once you have that clarity, the amazing thing is, like, she shifted from being in this reactive state to now leading her income to where she was able to pay off a significant amount of debt in the short 90 days that we worked together. But that is what this work is about. Helping you get to a point where you have more confidence and control over your money so that you can live your life not from a place of fear, not from a place of restriction, but where you can have more of that freedom and ease. And I love to say this, rest, because we need to rest. Like, that's the most important thing. It's not about always hustling for the next dollar. Let's put your money to work. Let your money hustle and make you more money. That's what we're working towards. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And if you are watching the replay, make sure you drop your questions in the comments as well. I'll be sure to respond to those. Because if you're realizing right now that you don't have the clarity that you need, and if some of what I said today hit home for you, I do invite you to join the waitlist for my upcoming masterclass. The link will be below. But this is the area where you can finally look at what's going on with your finances, understand the areas that are keeping you stuck, and have a plan. The goal is, as you exit this masterclass, you have a plan so that you can identify how you can move your money forward towards the life that you desire. Because this is what it's all about, guys. We are moving into this next season. I sent an email to my newsletter yesterday, and the message to them was, yes, we are in Q4. Some might like to look at it like, it's the end of the year. Yeah, I call it the home stretch, but really this is the beginning. This is the beginning for you to now say, all right, what happened over these last 9 months? Did you meet the goal that you said you were going to achieve? And if you didn't, it's okay. That's why we have clarity, so that you can investigate and look back at what was it that happened? What was going on that prevented you from progressing towards that goal? And even more so, it may not necessarily be that maybe you didn't reach the goal, but did you make progress? Did you maybe move 1 or 2 steps ahead? Because I always like to highlight that as well. A lot of times you're on the journey and you think because you didn't reach the goal that you somehow failed, and that's not the case. Did you make movement? Now you can continue that momentum and then finish this year, but use this as your jump off point, right? We're not waiting until January 1, okay? We're not waiting until January 1 to make this New Year's resolution that we're going to forget about by February, okay? We're going to start now, and how do you jumpstart it so that you can end the year off right on that upward high momentum to continue on into the next year, okay? Well, this was good. I feel like this topic, I know I talk about it a lot because it's so important. And I will be back next week on another topic on this. I feel like I need to come up with a series name for this. I really haven't had a series name. But if you have some ideas, let me know. But the main thing is getting the message to you, name or whatever. The goal is to get the message to you so you can make that shift and transformation into your next journey. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, here's to your financial freedom.